Hello! Welcome to Church Has Glasses. It's Kirk Has Glasses on Sunday. Um, so, I want to keep doing this semi-regularly. Don't know how regular it's going to be because, as you may or may not know, Sunday and Monday are my weekend. And when things are planned for those days, sometimes streams don't happen. But I, wanted to have a stream for video games again that has a little more length, and then, of course, want to have a moment to play games that I've heard great things about, but I've never had a chance to play. And, blocked out some time. I'm back, had to use the restroom facilities. Zach, you can't be late to church, okay? If the devil is in your bowels, you need to get him exercised so you can be to church on time, bro. That's day one shit. Anywho, I did want to mention, just as a fun thing before I start the Stanley Parable, I just exercised him. I was like, I bought all these games during that crazy sale on Steam a little while ago. And I do the same thing that I imagine many people do, where they're like, I don't have enough time in the world to play this. I've been waiting so long for this day. And I've heard great things about the Stanley Parable. Also, I don't know if it should be ending like that. Seeing how confused you were by the demo brought me so much joy. But what's funny is I loaded this up and I was like, well, I mean, I kind of figure, a couple hours. Maybe some breaks just to stand up, stretch the back. But what I didn't realize when I looked up how long this game lasts, apparently, they have, 30-minute runs of this game. That's what I read. The guy was like, yeah, it's basically every run through it is 30 minutes, but you can run through very different scenarios. So I don't know what's going to happen. Just excited because I heard very interesting things about this game. So let's get it started. Let's figure out what the Stanley Parable is about. The end is never the end. The is never the end. Oh, okay. I have a feeling, because everything that I read was a combination of it's very funny, so it's only going to be 30 minutes. No, oops. I think there's going to be different runs, and then if it seems very repetitive, I'll just switch to something else. There are people who only play this game once. They miss out on basically everything. But this here, this...
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Mm-hmm.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on the keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
This isn't a horror game, it's a comedy game. I just want to look around this office for a second. Can I zoom? Not to be that guy, but I mean, for not that much in the room, you could organize it a little more. This is the office. Is this the... This is an existential The Office. But
Stanley simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No. This couldn't go any way except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do. Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
did I just finish the game? Is that an ending to the game? Also, oops, there is a there is a little bit of artwork because he has no window and the creepiest fucking lamp ever because he can't turn on the lights above. That's the Pixar lamp.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
They all partied, man. It was a ditch day. Next thing you know, he's going to be looking for Carol of HR.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Hold on, what does that say? I like the work. I just hate my boss. That is a very fun mug to have at your desk. I'm sure your boss loves it. He didn't get invited to the office orgy. Also, thanks to Outlast, because this has, like, kind of the same visual... Well, not visual, but kind of same play. I'm so nervous about dumb shit, even though I don't think this is a horror game. Let me out! Awaiting input. Oh. Input received. Man, it would have been such a good joke if there was a little bit of smoke coming out of this door. We got guys on the roof. I hate Mondays. Meh. Mike. First off, this game is not about gameplay. It's about humor and wit. Oh shoot, that looks a lot like, they left.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
But what if I don't want to go to the left? Nothing on the doors. You know what? I've been contrarian so far. I didn't leave my office, and I think I ended the game.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
See? That's what I'm doing. Maybe they're having an orgy in the employee lounge. I'm testing every door, by the way.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Look at it. I'm done.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
See, okay, so I don't have to do what he tells me to do. I could go straight. Yeah, I'm going straight. I'm going to do everything the opposite of what he said.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Office orgies are never appropriate for children. Especially if it's based on the show The Office. Wow.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
What? There's a female? How do you know that Stanley is not gay?
Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
We're gonna find out that it's just his favorite pencil sharpener that he has always referred to as a she, because he's lonely. Oh, that's darkness. That's just straight darkness. This is some Doki Doki shit. Ho!
That's her, Stanley.
Oh,
You
okay.
need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Evan, what the fuck? What?
Oh, Stanley, is that you? Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
What a dick. What an asshole. You suck.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
What?
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Now it's turned into a roast.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life. But in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful, and each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him. And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
6 to spend time with the boys? Is it Saturday?
So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
Now, is that O or is that 0? O.
As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
My children.
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to
I'm not
push
as smart
a
as
button,
you think I am, Shadow.
do not do it. You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that
It turned into the
every second
fucking
he remains
room.
here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself? I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button.
Please
And I
die.
tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
This is a fucking... This is an interesting art piece. I love this game. It's so weird and fun and hilarious and strange. But the fact that you turned the fucking room into my starting room and I didn't realize until it was the starting room, that's kind of fucking cool. Okay. Alright, going back out.
All of his co-workers were gone.
Another run,
What
another
could it
run,
mean?
quick.
Stanley
Speed running,
decided to
Stanley
go to the
Parable.
meeting
Let's do it.
room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
It's very interesting. Hitchhiker's Guide. Galaxy British Humor. I've never seen the movie, but I've heard the book is very good. I also heard that the movie is not as good as the book, but that seems to be how most people live their lives. Alright.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
You know what? I'm gonna listen to him this time. He really mind-fucked me earlier. It is a very serious book series.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Oh my god, I want to read all of this shit. Get Chris out of the broom closet. Synergize papers. Papers are too synergized. Fire the paper guy. Hire someone to fire the paper synergizing guy who has moved my desk. tomorrow. Complete today's unfinished agenda items. I guess two? I guess I've had two endings. One where I never left the room, and then another where I did exactly the opposite of what the guy said. Oh my god, what the fuck? Oh, there's like way more things to read. On your boss appreciation minute worksheet. Find yourself in a conflict with another. Fuck, this is awesome. Monetized, free to play. Talk less, do unbelievably amazing work with all the time every day with no expectation. Oh my god, I want to put that up where I work. I'm gonna have to print that out and put it up where I work. Resent coworkers. Oh my god. Can I please just get this on a loop at my job? Well, no, I think there's been two endings, Oops. I think it's kind of charts and slides. Rate at which...
Stanley just stood there doing nothing at all. He seems to think I have nothing better to do with my time than to sit around and describe every fascinating little detail of his inability to do anything. This is why Stanley and I are on such good terms.
What is hot? Profits? What do people want? Things? Money, more money, things but with money to buy more things, graphs about things and money. I don't get this game. This game is kind of like that one Tom Cruise movie with Emily Blunt that I can't remember the name of, Edge of Tomorrow, that I also haven't seen. Or Groundhog Day, where it ends but then it just starts. Oh wait, isn't there a dude stuck in the broom closet?
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
But there's tons of cool stuff in here. There's tools? I mean, there's not a lot of tools.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow. Just an empty
broom ending closet? There's a broom ending closet?
To still be here.
Staying in here, bro. Fucking deal with it.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
No, this is espresso with milk and some vanilla.
Standing around doing nothing? Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
They really need more tools. Like, you can't get...
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me.
Oh, because it kind of looks like a dick?
This closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it.
Can you actually read what's on the shirt? It says ban nuclear weapons or have a nice doomsday.
Its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friend, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favorite." I hope your friends find this concerning. Stanley was fat and ugly and really, really stupid. He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers. Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. He or she has fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place at the computer, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
Now it's just me versus narrator, man. I'm not doing it. I'm not budging. Now I'm not even going to move at all. My God, if he jump scared me, I'd be so fucking pissed. There is a sound. There is a sound. Oh, hold on. I can see it. There is a sound of the office, but... I'm wondering, is it now just... Is there no more dialogue, or... Oh, I think he's tested me. We're in a game of chicken right now. Who is gonna break first? I have to trust that this game will do something. Eventually. Because I don't want to open the door. Oh, no. How do I...
Ah, second player. It's good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't do any worse than the person who came before you.
Okay, well, you know what I'm doing.
You too? Unbelievable. I'm at the mercy of an entire species of invalids. Perhaps there's a monkey nearby you can hand the controls to. A fish? Fungus? Look, you can hammer out the details. I'm not particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're ready to pick up the story again.
Oh man, now it's just me in the broom closet. There's no other part of this game. There is an ending. How do I figure it though? At this point, I am the joke of the game. We've been clamoring for a broom closet simulator. The market has just not spoken.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Fuck.
But Stanley just couldn't do it.
Whoa.
He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. "I'm dreaming!" he yelled. "This is all a dream." Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment and my wife and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Fuck.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice?
Starting red.
And everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this. So it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
The end is never the end is never the end. Is never the end. Holy shit. Mariella? I got a Mariella ending? Alright, speed run.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I want to go into this room.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Closing the doors behind me.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Look that way. Okay. 12. Meeting room. Fun
Yet
stuff.
there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Oh no, no, not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room. Please take your time.
Because I knew he'd have other dialogue. I knew it. And I know it's not a person that I'm actually affecting, but this is pretty funny. You're jerking off. First off, you're not going to do it in the bathroom. People go in there. Who goes in the broom closet? Nobody. Also, the acoustics are better. That he's not going to say anything. Is that true? Okay, fine. And there's a...
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Cheap clapping? If you're clapping cheaps, like little plush cheaps, that's kind of gross. Look at this. Look at this nice office. Well, hot damn. Kind of looks like a Red Dead Redemption hotel. Kind of weird how it has like a normal ass door, though. No, that's not good design. Shit. Clapping sheeps. Sheep clapping.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
I am the most expensive boss.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845. Stanley simply began entering random codes into the keypad, knowing full well the sheer statistical unlikelihood that this would ever result in a correct combination. But it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself. And Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
Damn it. That's lazy. That's lazy. Don't know who I'm looking at. I guess the camera. That's lazy. You could have done something. Could have had ending right there. Also, what? The guy who did this didn't do Superliminal, right? Ah! It's the set of The Office. Oh shit, a whole nother area? That it has to load, or is that an ending? The implication that I was just executed?
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Now it's just turning into Bioshock. Slowly.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Nope, I don't like this. But there's an escape. Escape, what could it mean? Fuck
Although
this.
this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Don't care. I'm gonna meet it head on.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Ooh. Ooh. We need a comparison to Bioshock Square. There's gonna be a lot of comparison squares. Bioshock, South Park, Community.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise,
Oh,
he
shit.
reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Oh, shit.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
What? Fuck. I have to turn up the brightness because I can't fucking tell what's happening. I can barely see the thing I'm walking on.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
What the fuck? What? What the fuck? This is... Yeah, it's a little museum. I bet Bioshock could have one. Well, Bioshock does have a museum. I think if you get the special edition, I forget which game, but you can go into an area that has all the concept art and 3D models of stuff. This guy, give this guy some type of an award, because fucking hell. Also the writers. This is nuts. This is good shit. This belongs in a museum. And there's stuff in here that I haven't even seen yet. Because I haven't played through all the different versions of the story. I'm just getting the museum. I'm getting my cake before I'm having the meat and veg. Boss's office. Gosh, like I want to see everything, but then I'm gonna be spoiled. I can barely hear them. That's the first time I've ever heard that phrase, but it works. I think I'm not going to take credit. I'm pretty sure I heard a British person say it. Think it was a comedian. Could be wrong. What? Countdown disc. Oh, there's a countdown ending. Freedom ending. Oh shit, I can turn off the Stanley Parable? It's straight. Oh my gosh, I want to see all this stuff. Player restarted from the escape menu. Unfortunately, very few players realized this was frustrating for only ended when a player restarted from the escape menu. Unfortunately. Zending levers? Zending? Gosh, there's so many fucking things. Ugh, there's a whole Zending. There's gonna be a museum of the museum. Trailers. We ran 4 major teaser trailers over the course of the game's development, each meant to convey something about the spirit of the game. First one was released in May 2012. Features a series of broken rooms and the voice of the narrator, informing viewers that he is preparing a new version of the Stanley Parable. See, this is kind of a bummer for me. Not a bummer for me, a bummer on me that I got to this one. The apartment timer in a previous. Gosh. Now I'm... Oh, wait, no. This is the other way up. The remix, more endings, fewer endings, more errors, fewer... Larger words. Light balance process. This is pretty cool. This is pretty fucking cool. The lounge. It's a beautiful lounge. There's probably an ending where all you do is different versions of Stanley's office. Honestly, this museum isn't all placed for many players. This is the first ending they get. The escape tunnel is so damn tempting. Still, it doesn't spoil that much. Man, this is pretty fucking cool. That's the exit. You know, I don't want to... The countdown room. Oh my gosh, I want to get to a countdown ending for sure. But I also want to turn it off. I want to see what happens.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let time.
Uh-oh. Is this one... I mean, maybe I went too soon, but it seems like I was just straight dead.
Just a step through this door, Stanley thought to himself. That's all I need. If I
Okay.
can make it
Maybe
through
got
this
one more
door,
run, then I
can
actually
make
gotta
it through
move
the
some
wall.
laundry. Alright. So,
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open
to the
doors,
left.
he entered the door on his left.
by the meeting room. I think you were meant to restart, yeah, the game.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Are you kidding me? He literally... they literally closed it off. That sucks.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
I wonder... Oh my god, there's so many dumb possibilities. Because I'm wondering if I go back down now after going up once. Is it going to play the same thing? Or is it going to mention something?
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss.
Yep, it'll be the
admitting
same
he'd
thing.
left his post during work hours.
That's my bad. That's my bad. It's the same thing. Look, I know the game now. Speed. This seems different. What? We skipped... What?
When Stanley came to a
That's
set
weird.
of 2
Okay.
open doors, he entered the door on his left.
No. We bob, we weave, we bob, we weave. Well, we're gonna go...
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave
Sprinting.
of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office,
amazing.
hoping he might find an answer there.
That's amazing.
Coming to a staircase,
Boom,
Stanley
boom,
walked
boom,
upstairs
boom,
to
boom.
his boss's office.
Boom. In the office. We in. Go into the creepy-ass office.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud.
He has his
to
cable bill on the
nobody.
desk.
He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be? In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that
This
lay
is the
buried
opposite
below
of
his
it.
feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to
2845.
input the correct code by sheer luck.
Oh.
Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Dun, 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 dun. Over here? The wall. Go down here. Ugh. If it's the tall vampire from RE8, I'm cool with it. The office of that guy from... That was a bug. Does look like a giant coffin. Alright, so we're back at it.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Okay.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens.
Oh.
What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Let's say. Ooh.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed.
Whoa.
Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers.
Is
The lives of so many individuals
this
reduced to
Matrix
images
Reloaded?
on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Bunch of text on it. What is that? What is that one about?
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Countdown? Countdown?
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Looks like it'd be a good club. You just had some pulsing dance music. I can't wait. Hold on a second. What is this all about? What is this all about over here? I did not come downstairs, so I did not come from here. Labeled number 4, so that probably has to be the 4th one. I'm looking for a button. Button. Who's got the button? That's number 5. Fuck. Have I been missing buttons? God damn it, this game. Too many layers. Too many layers. System power.
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place
Damn
and
right.
to everything it stood for.
Or I feel drunk with power and I turn it on and try to use it.
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted?
Yep.
Control?
I want control.
Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them
gosh, I see it.
is.
5,
More
4.
time to talk about you, about me, where we're going.
Oops. Oh, I did
What
call
all
it.
this
Oops.
means, I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees.
Well, I've pushed.
Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is?
I was just laughing.
Stanley.
I was just laughing at me.
You're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of
Goodbye,
your
employee
inevitable
427.
life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever up.
That's fun shit. Alright, I'm gonna take a quick break. Mostly just to check on laundry. I will be right back. Alright, sorry about that. Took a little longer than I wanted. I did not know you have to enable achievements? Oh my god. Really? That's some pretty damn good interlude music. What was that? I went to, there's this thing, Epidemic Sound, where you can get, license-free music. I think you have to pay, like, a fee. I don't know. I didn't set it up. My buddy / partner / homie Ben set it up. But, I went there, and I just typed gospel music. I was like, I just want to get some gospel music up on this stuff if I'm doing anything on a Sunday. And just got a whole bunch of it together. I can give you the official names and stuff after a couple more runs of the Stanley Parable.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
But Enya is licensed. I'd get in trouble. Oh. Could have been doing that every time. What the fuck am I doing? Look at this game.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
If I go to the right, there is no other ending other than that lift thing, right? I don't know. I'm not even gonna risk it right now.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go
TPS
up to
reports.
his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
There's at least 3 more? Holy bug. Right, well, I do
Coming
know
to
about
a
this.
staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Ooh, fuck. Trapped me. To be rich, is it a crime? To commit crimes, is it rich? What a life it would be. You have to pick just one. Extreme Bathrooms Magazine! Okay, well, apparently nothing's happening in this bathroom. And it's just the way it goes. What? Oh, that's an awesome painting. Business strategy is to murder pandas. That's awesome. I kind of want that for my room. Okay, well, this is all new. I probably should, because there's so many branching paths, I probably should have turned off the thing. This game is just filled with so much. Oh my god, I never told... Okay. I won't tell her name, but I'll tell you a story about a bathroom and a window. One time... First off, let's find out how long this is going to be. Don't forget that I have a story about a bathroom and a window. Have you ever been in an elevator that had trash? Didn't go anywhere. Nice. Oh, jeez. That trick, that's rude of yourself. This doesn't go anywhere. Is that what I'm to understand? This is just a this is a goof elevator. This is just some goof elevator. It's an elevator for goofs. Because that's the thing. This game, the one thing this game does that kind of bothers me is it gives you these opportunities to possibly just be wasting time waiting for something to happen. I feel like I'm done with this elevator. But can I take this off the wall? Because I want it in my life. Business strategy. Alright.
The moment he entered his manager's office, Stanley froze in his tracks. Not a living soul anywhere. Could he really be all alone? Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk.
Nope.
That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music.
Aw, fine, oops. Later, oops. Some calming, music for
Feeling
you.
soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
Later. Also, did it always cut the windows like that every time this opened? Doesn't seem... Alright, load it up. Run through, run, run.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens.
Television
What horrible
screens.
secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Turn these on. See that they're spying on everybody like weirdos.
Their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility
Doing
was too
laps.
horrible
Doing
to
laps.
believe it couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Laps in the elevator. Laps in the elevator.
He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never.
Never.
It was unthinkable, wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
And it ended the world.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine. Unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange
Look at how
building
beautiful
hold?
it is.
But as sunlight
Look at
streamed
it.
into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be.
You can't
his.
jump.
And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
It's too overwhelming. Take me back. Take me back. Oh. Thought I could turn the thing back on. There'd be a comedic ending. Apparently not.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin.
I'm not in control.
The feeling
How
of
ironic.
liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
Aw. Beat the game. So this basically is the ending you get when you play this game, quote-unquote, properly. Okay.
All of his co-workers were... Wait, no. This isn't the right office, is it? Is this Stanley's office?
Wait. I can't even open it anymore. Well, I don't know if it's Stanley's office. Okay, if I remember correctly. Turn that off. Shit! The input thing isn't on. Damn it! Or is it on another computer? Fuck. That's gonna bother me. Save energy, assholes. Turn off your fucking shit. Even though I didn't turn off my computer when I left my office. Seems kind of rude. Seems kind of rude. Okay.
When
Now,
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
there's got to be one for just not deciding, right? Kind of staring at the doors. There has to be something. Some type of fun, pithy dialogue. Or not. There's like 3 more endings for the right
This
side.
was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first.
The employee
just to admire
lounge.
it. Wow. Yes. This room. What a beautiful room. What a gorgeous, gorgeous room. Thank goodness Stanley had taken this detour on
Coffee
his way
nut.
to the meeting room. Life without having experienced this room was now too horrible even to consider.
There's got to be one for staying in this room, huh?
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
Man, I just love this lounge. The lounge is so nice.
At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible that this is why everyone left.
Everybody, $1.25 for a can of soda? Fuck, inflation is bullshit, man.
Stanley sat around waiting for more dialogue, but when a long time had passed and there was no more, he decided that the game was trying to send him a message.
Nothing. I feel like there has to be a way. Figured there had to be a way that it ended in this room. This is a fun stream. Shut up, Patrick. You gotta try everything. And to me, it would make sense that there is one ending where you just live in this room because it's so awesome. It's blue. It has a bunch of different kinds of chairs. You could sleep on that one. There's all kinds of mugs. There's trash in the corner.
at last he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business.
Oh, that's right. There's an open door on the left. I never took that door. I went straight. Wait a second. It'll close if I... Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Uh-oh. Now I go to Rapture again.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here, it's, left.
You don't know for sure, though. Alright, also, give me one quick second. I'm gonna fix something in OBS that's been bothering me for several minutes that I just keep saying. Okay. Something really dumb that takes a second to fix. Sorry about that. Okay. We're back. And I literally can't go anywhere else other than left. Oh, I guess I gotta go left.
Oh, no. No, it's to the right. My mistake.
Oh, now you're gonna fuck with me. Is this...
Oh, no, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh, dear. Would you hold on for a minute, please?
Just fucking with me.
Let's see. We went down, right, left, down, left, right. Yep. Okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
You positive? Also, what is that door for? That's some, like, fucking terrible planning right there.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the top.
That's good shit. That's funny. Why can't I close the door now?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
That one thing that was awaiting input and I only got to 2. I feel like something happens if I get it all the way up, but alas. That's my favorite ending, the one where it's just like, wow, you screwed up the story.
When Stanley... Wait, what? No,
What?
No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere, or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
My god. Oh my gosh, there's so many possibilities. Okay, well, we're just in a labyrinth now. Well, that's awesome. IGF award. I don't know what the IGF is for, but that dude deserves it. It's a fantastic performance and very funny and very cool. And hopefully he's remembered.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again?
No.
Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Okay. Is it really restarted? Don't think so, based on the... Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay. Let's see. Now there's no choices.
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
Oh. Who's the... We all have to work here, okay? And I understand that accidents happen, but come on. Miss anything? Doesn't look like we missed anything.
Aha! I knew we'd missed something. The story. Here it comes. No, wait. Never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
What? Oh, goddamn. What in the fuck?
Now this... Well, I'll be honest. I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley?
Oh my god.
Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job. Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win.
Oh, come on.
Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay? I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart.
Creeped out. I mean, it does look like it's starting into, like, Resident Evil 7. Oh my god. What the hell?
All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
Well, now I want to deviate from the line as soon as... What? This is new. I don't go that way, though. It encourages so many runs. Aha. Doesn't let you...
No, I'm down. We're leaving it up to the line from now on.
Okay, we'll leave it up to the line. Back to the line. And it goes into this place where we've never been. Oh, there's the solitaire. Can I play it? Fine. Fine. God, it sucks to get one of these
You
offices,
see,
huh?
the line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay. Now, if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office, in fact, the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa. Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
Fuck, this game's awesome. so glad I've played it. Also, it's counting down. .007. Oh, now it's OB8. I feel like I'm going into battle. Well, what the fuck? Wait. Hold on. Hold on. My brain is breaking. Wait a fucking minute. Hold on. Wait, what?
Wait, cut the music. Go back and look at that fern.
What? You're breaking.
Wait, we're back at the office?
You're breaking my brain.
No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story. Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
Okay. But what the fuck? Playing this literally has, like, this moment has hurt my brain a little bit because I'm very confused. What the line's going all over the place. Where the fuck am I supposed to go? You told me to stay on the line, then the line... Wait a minute. What the fuck? Okay. So, went through... Oh my god, are you serious?
Oh, no, not again, Line. How could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
What the fuck? Oh my gosh. Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Back at it. I just gotta keep...
What, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Okay, man.
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley, I'm ready for it. Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
All over the joint. Yeah, I mean, I like to imagine just a dude with a paint roller of yellow that never runs out, and he's just all over the place.
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere at the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
The confusion ending?
Oh, hold up, what's this? The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game, what, eight times? Really
What?
how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this.
I'm barely here.
I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle?
The previous restarts.
Whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story, wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime...
Oh, damn. So, if this ending is going...
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay. I think if it's said right, it'll prevent me from going. And then... Unless that was just a ruse, and we're not actually in that ending anymore. But how do we know? Okay. It looks like we restarted. Completely.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
So, we'll go to the employee lounge.
The lounge was sublime, a work of art. What was it about this room that called? But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Okay, so I went through okay, go through here.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Oh, it just restarts that. If I do this again, will it... This is gonna start that whole ending again. That's the question.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go,
Yep, it's gonna do it again. But I don't know if it is.
Here it's, left.
If it does the exact same thing.
Oh, no. No, it's to the right, my mistake.
Then again, during the line part, I went to a different spot.
No, not the right. Why would I have ever said
Nah,
it
it
was
does
to
the same
right?
thing? Okay, fine. Begin the game again. What? Wait.
All of his co-workers were gone.
What?
What did it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
It's now completely different.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief,
so
Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay. Oh, there's the input. Oh my gosh. So, there's two more. I think when you restart, it cuts some of the initial filler space so you can progress faster. More medium awareness. Forgot to tell. Don't forget to tell the toilets. Oh, the toilet story. There was a time, you talk about a big open window next to a toilet. When I was in college, during the summer, I worked for the college in the maintenance department. And some of the kids, they were young adults. Some of the young adults could live on campus during the summer break if they paid, you know, housing like it was the regular semesters. And I was working outside some of those living situations, and I heard my name in the parking lot, like someone was calling to me, so I started to look around, and then nobody was around, so I was like, what the fuck? Okay. I was like, I could have swore I heard somebody saying my name. I could have swore I heard it. And then, no joke, oh wait, no, it wasn't during the summer. It must have been during regular semester. Because I went to class the next day, and this girl that I knew in the class, acquaintance, classmate, she goes, hey, so, you were working in that living area the other day? I was like, yeah. So, you may have heard somebody call out to you? Like, yeah. She's like, yeah, that was me. I didn't realize I was standing in front of the full, window completely naked when I did that. So the second you started to turn around and look around, I dropped down below the window so you wouldn't see me naked. And I was like, well, good on you. What awareness. That is a thing. There was another time where I was working on the water lines with an actual plumber of the school, and he was like, I have to shut the water off right now. How much time did she spend strolling around naked if she can just forget? We were working on the lines of this one building, and the plumber's like, oh, damn it. I have to shut all the water off right now. We got a bad problem. So he's like, go tell everybody that I have to shut off the water. And I was like, okay. So I ran to the different rooms, knock on the door. There's like a procedure for how you knock and what you say.
Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad. Stanley pushes some buttons. Oh, hey, look, it's a new passageway. Quelle surprise.
He does. He just does it. But as I was running to the doors and doing the knock and saying the required things, one of the doors it opened and it was just 4 to 5 women in the middle of changing. They were in their underwear, but they were all changing. And I was a 19, 20-year-old college student, and I was like, your water's being turned off, and I just ran away. Because I was like, this is how you get fired. The story won't look as good. A dude with keys and the ability to go into rooms in a room full of women changing doesn't look good on that guy no matter what. Now that's how you... What a fun catchphrase for you, Patrick. Now that's how you have sex.
Red mind control facility.
That one's a little long. Oh, let's do this one again.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death. Softcore
porn movies say that you're gangbang if you stuck around. A standard
Of
gangbang.
course, Stanley thought better of it and realized he simply had too much to live for. The lights rose on an enormous room.
Now,
packed
that's
with
what I call
television
sex.
screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley.
Now
thought
that's
to
what I
himself.
call sex
Did he have the
69.
strength to find out?
Bringing you all the hits of sex from this year. Remember this song that you couldn't hear enough
Now
of on the
wanted to
radio?
jump to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Somebody caught me on the bridge there.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true.
Too
Had Stanley
horrible
really
to
been under
believe, he
someone's
says.
control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No, he refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place.
These
And as
buttons
the
with
cold reality
numbers
of his
on 'em.
past began to sink in, Stanley
can't
decided that this machinery would
help but
never
think they'll
again
do
exert
something.
its terrible power over another human life.
Even though
For
I'm
he
pretty sure.
would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Oop, stuck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh wow, that's a big old red button. If I were...
And when at last he found the source of the room's power, he knew it was his duty, his obligation, to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Can I just leave and not accept my the responsibility? Oh, there was a door over here. Does this door just never open? You can jump off the yellow lift in a specific spot and live, by the way. The yellow lift? Are you talking about in the completely different path, or in this one if I turn it on? Because the yellow lift, I remember that, but that was like the way different spot.
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you?
Different path.
After they
yeah.
kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control? Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that.
And you get this
I'm
open,
afraid
though.
you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine.
Yeah,
You
technically.
are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy
Re-enter
it. Mere
passcode.
moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to
Oh my
know where
god,
your
is there a
co-workers
passcode
are?
I could enter?
A moment of solace before you're obliterated. All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway.
Oh, shit.
I'll tell you exactly what happened.
This
to them.
opened.
I erased them.
Oh!
I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story.
Damn it.
Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense
Enable
of everything and take
backup
back the
power to
control
activate.
wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I
Is there a
hate
way
to
to-
see it go? But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock.
So there's literally nothing there's
These are
nothing I can do.
precious
I just die.
Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen.
It's true.
Clicking on every little
It's the
thing in this
same-
room.
same
These
one.
numbered buttons. No, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button. Or this door. Everything, anything. Something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? But you really believe there's an answer? How many times will you replay this bit, looking desperately for a solution? 10? 100? 1,000? I look forward to finding out and to watching the bomb go off each time you fail. Just you and me in the retching explosion of fire and metal over and over and over for all of eternity. And Stanley died again. And Stanley died again. And Stanley died again.
This is different though.
Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle.
Unless I
30
didn't notice
seconds
it.
until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here. Just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life? Or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count. Or don't. It's all the same to me.
No, I just
All
must
a
not have
part
paid
of the
attention.
joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say, happily ever after.
The end is never the end, is never the end. Alright. So
Even now, Stanley's office was a distant memory. What did it look like? There was a computer, perhaps, and a painting. Was it a painting or a photo? He could no longer recall.
alright. So there's that input thing. That has been going up, but I have to find it. And it's in a
When
different
Stanley
spot.
came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and
No, it
Stanley
wasn't.
knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Standing now in this incredible room, Stanley for the first time, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
So I can go to here.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't
Ooh,
5
yeah, that's
years
right.
ago.
Okay. If I fall off the lift,
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on
Land
the
on
wrong
here.
foot here. I'm not sure
Also,
if
I
we
could just do
really
this,
are
'cause-
not. But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Everyone thinks you are very powerful. All right.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
That.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop
No, I'm just
by the
speed running.
employee
No,
lounge
I'm a Stanley
first,
Parable
just to
speed
admire
runner.
it. Stanley felt lightheaded,
TSPSR.
butterflies in his stomach. But eager to get back to
All
business,
right.
Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Nope. Juked, bitch. Okay. We're going through here.
Stanley was so
Go
bad
through
at
here.
following directions, it's incredible he
Okay.
wasn't fired years ago.
So it's $1,000 for misuse of the cargo lift. All
Look,
right.
Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm
Come
not.
on.
I realize
Come
that
on.
investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time.
Pretty high. That's pretty high.
Is someone you've been neglecting, Stanley? Someone you've forgotten? What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance.
By making everything
Now
so...
listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
You know what? No, I just don't like your neediness, so I'm going through the blue door.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door.
You know what? I don't like red. I like blue. I'm wearing blue.
I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked through the red door.
Oh shit. I can piss him off even more.
All right, fine. Go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of this road you've chosen? Well, don't let me stop you. You see? There's nothing here. I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had wanted? Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you? Do you
Wow.
not think I put a lot of
He's
time
getting-
into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees? Work with me. You've given me absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a spin.
Oh my gosh, it's so many options.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you say that the game benefited from allowing you more choices? Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here. Aha! You see, I knew I was onto something. Where do these flashes of inspiration come from? How did I know the game needed a third door? Well, it's instinct mostly, a calling in your gut. I really couldn't say where the idea came from, except that I felt it in my soul. You can't teach that, Stanley. Don't even try. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look.
That's funny. Oh, that's awesome. Only the worst. Chose the blue door. How long does it take you to get the correct door complete against others to employers? This This is great. This is you. Friends list empty. Oh, that's funny. Fuck. This is a treat. This is a delight.
Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors? Again, honest answers, please.
No, it makes me sad.
Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you? Perfect. Let me boot it up.
Uh-oh. It's just...
In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger. You click the button to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be sure to keep notes on your experience.
4 hours? I'm gonna let it burn. Let it burn, burn, burn.
Heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas. I can't think of a single thing that might improve the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out. I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain. Let's see. What do we have here? Yes. This seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
I actually have to do that. You'd have to do that for 4 hours? Because it seemed like that's... What?
Stanley, is this any better? At last, the one thing you've always desired. A game I had absolutely nothing to do with. But is it enough? Tell me that, Stanley. Will it ever be enough? Well, I'll say this. I'm done making things for you. From now on, I will only create to fulfill a greater artistic purpose. Watch this, Stanley. I'm going to build a house. This will go here. No, here. And then...
This is awesome.
Let's see, what does it need? Yes, of course. And just to finish it all off, yes, it's complete. I made this, Stanley. Look at it. Gaze upon my work of art and feel ashamed at your own inadequacy. But you've only seen it from the outside. You've only gotten half the experience. Please, step inside and make yourself comfortable.
Oh my gosh, that's claustrophobia even for me.
Isn't it grand? Isn't it perfect? It could only be better if... Wait, that's it. We must rebuild it out of diamond. Diamond everything. Yes. Come along, Stanley. We have to go mining.
It's just become Minecraft.
Oh my.
That's awesome.
It's going to get a bit dark. Have you brought a light? Oh, no. This is far more open-ended than I had in mind. I'm looking for something more narrow and linear. Something that makes you feel utterly irrelevant. This won't do at all. 1 out of 5. Even the diamonds couldn't save this one. Okay, new game.
Just shit on Minecraft for a second for no reason.
Yes!
Portal!
I don't even know what this game is, but I love it.
This Portal?
You, trapped in a glass box with no way out, listening to me talk. Oh, it's inspired. I couldn't have done it any better myself. What is this game even supposed to be? I can't figure it out. Okay,
oh, wow.
I'm curious.
It literally broke.
Let's go find out what the hell this is.
That's a dirty ass toilet. Excuse me? How do I get out of here? You removed the... Oh, sorry. Sorry. Oh my gosh, man.
Oh, it's a puzzle. Critical thinking, Stanley. Your forte. Genius.
Yeah,
Actually,
this...
you know what? I think that's plenty. I really don't care much to see you stumble through any more of these games, and I highly doubt you're any wiser for the experience. Which is why, rather than continue to waste my time, I'm just going to leave you here. You can pretend you've beaten the game if it makes it any richer for you, but as for me, I've had enough. So, why don't you get cozy in this room, and if you have any grand revolutionary ideas for the perfect video game, you can just sit there and let it ball up inside you for all eternity. I don't need your advice. I don't need your ratings. And I certainly don't need the validation of a man whose job is to push buttons. I think I'll just go about my business, making meaningful cultural contributions to the world. And perhaps every now and then, I'll think back to a man named Stanley who was objectively wrong in every decision he ever made. The thought won't last long. Goodbye, Stanley. Good luck with your work. And I sincerely hope that everyone lives happily ever after.
Oh, shit. Oh my god. Oh god. Oh, this is still happening. Yeah, that would have been pretty cool if they got the voice. Well, oops. We're still playing and shit got a little weird because I pissed off the narrator, so he started literally dropping me into different games. Like Minecraft and Portal. And now he has left me to a dark, dark room. Oh. What is this? Ooh. I just click every button and see what happens. Tons of cool shit happened, but it's hard to describe.
I wonder what he found. If what he wanted was to be the leading man in his own story, well, perhaps he's gotten it. Down in wherever he is right now. I wonder if he's happy with his choice, and if he's learned the heavy cost that comes with it. He'll understand soon what I was trying to tell him. He needs me. Someone who will wrap everything up at the end, to make sense out of the chaos and the fear and the confusion. That's who I am. That is what I mean to this world. Oh, yes. Yes, I'll be back. There's no other way. Once this ends, after it all comes to a close, then I'll be back. The end will be here soon. Very soon. I can wait.
The end is never the end. Damn. Yeah, I get why this is the Mad Notes.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay, so... know that...
When Stanley came to a set of two
This
open
way.
this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. The lounge was grand, majestic, perhaps, but eager to
I'm
get
very
back to
impressed.
business,
I
Stanley
mean,
took
I
the
know it
first
doesn't
open
exist to
door on his
impress me,
left.
but fuck, it's a very interesting idea
Stanley
and
was so bad at following
crazy to
directions, it's incredible he
write
wasn't
all these
5
weird
years
endings
ago.
and stuff.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced
danger
that I
everywhere.
want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. Give me a chance. Now listen carefully, this is important.
Okay.
Stanley walked through the red door.
Last time I was an asshole, so I'll go through the
Oh,
red door.
thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
Uh-oh. We're loading it in. We're loading it in.
What do we want? What are we looking for?
What is this?
Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, right in this moment with this place, Stanley, I think I feel happy. I actually feel happy.
It is pretty cool, Mr. Narrator Man. But, I mean, I can't stay in here forever. Whoa, whoa. We got new shit. Alright, so we got ourselves a little light show. Feel like we need some mushrooms or something. Maybe some weed. I really appreciate it, but... I'm just kidding, kids. Don't do drugs. Don't do drugs as kids. Do drugs when you're an adult and your brain is fully formed and you realize that nothing really matters and we're all gonna die. That's when you have drugs. Don't do it when you're young. Mushrooms are excellent. What a user review. So, I mean, can I walk off the stage? What happens if I walk off the stage? I can't. I literally can't. Especially at an omelet. What? This be
Wait,
different.
Where are you going?
Just a light show, man.
Oh no. Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this.
Oh no. I also enjoy
Please,
mushrooms
no,
on
Stanley,
a burger.
Let me stay here. Don't take this from me.
Oh wow, this is dark.
Please, Stanley, think about what you're doing.
Alright, I'll go back down. What happens? Oh, nothing? What about what door? There wasn't a... Was there a door up there? Oh, I didn't try to open it. I assumed it would be locked. And I'm gonna assume that it is, even though I'm walking up the stairs. Yeah, that's not a door. That's just wood. I think it only ends when I kill, well, when the character kills himself, so I don't think this is gonna do much, but wood can be. I don't have fire. They didn't give me fire in the game.
Good, good. We can't be too safe. Promise me you won't go back there. Just stay here.
They didn't give me any wood. It's not Minecraft. I mean, not wood. They didn't give me any flint and steel or a torch. This is a Stanley Parable. But eventually I gotta leave, right? Like...
No! What do we talk about? You're risking everything we achieved here. You heard me before, didn't you? You will die! What about this isn't getting through to you?
How many times will... Like, if I go back down... Seems like a lot of wasted time, but... Okay.
You are going to stay here, aren't you?
I'm just playing with his emotions now. Alright, I think we're done. We're done here. We're done going in the same 3 rooms. We gotta keep moving. And...
No! Oh.
Oh.
Thank God. You lived. You had me worried there for a moment. Now, can we please get back to the other room?
No.
No. No. What are you doing, Stanley? Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me. I can't go back to what I was before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this?
Really toying with him. Does the room change? No, not at all.
There. See? This is what you want. This is where we can both be happy. We really can. If we stop moving, we just have to stop moving.
Is this game like... I mean, I don't know if they... I can just look up interviews. Feels like this game is
Stanley,
about,
go
like,
back.
anxiety,
There's nothing
depression.
good that can come from this.
Jump off. I can't jump off that platform. I tried.
Do you just not believe me? What can I say to convince you?
I tried to jump off the black platform into the laser vision stuff, but I can't.
Stanley, let's go back to the other room. Can you do that for me?
It's like I can't die.
Perhaps you can. Perhaps you finally see what I'm talking about. I know you'll see. You'll see that we can't be happy if we leave this place. You can see that, can't you?
But yeah, man, every time I go back in there, it's just looking at lights.
No, perhaps not. My God, is this really how much you dislike my game? To throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rid of it? You were literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy. Am I reading the situation correctly? Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore. I just wanted us to get along. Do you actually want to stay alive? Or are you just teasing me?
You have the power to just kill me and change the game. Why don't you do it? I'm toying with you. Huh? Narrator? Answer me. That's kind of the thing. Like, assuming humanity survives another 15, 20 years, it would be interesting if games got smart enough to have an AI that you actually can communicate with in an intelligent way. And then they made a game like this? Oh my gosh, next level.
Is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back.
Wow, that's pretty dark.
Already this was uncomfortable, and Stanley decided that as soon as he found a new space he felt safe in, that he would never leave it again in his life.
I try the red door again? What do I do?
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Let's go back to the office.
Yet there was
Or
not
the
a single
boss's
person here
office?
either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Hoping he might come into a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Gotta piss in the executive bathroom, feel like a big shot. Money in the morning, money in the evening, money for breakfast, money crisp. That's awesome. It's like a weird money-shaped cereal. Does that mean I missed some of these? Fuck. This game is too much. One of these days, this elevator is actually going to take me somewhere. I wish I had 4 hours to do that stupid baby thing. Alright. Already done.
Here's the door, just go.
Or just go. Not sure the dev even expected anyone. Well, yeah, that's a... I mean, you have to expect that just the way with, like, the way video game... gamers... The way video gamers work.
Through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
You have to expect if you put in the thing like, oh, you're supposed to do it for 4 hours, there's going to be at least some people that do it.
Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around
Assuming
and
that
get back
there's
on
a...
track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
This is the...
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. So he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Meh.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Early in development, we designed an ending where Stanley would end up in a battlefield fighting aliens. The action game would become sentient and would wage war against the new. We realized shortly after starting to build it that it was far too jokey and on the nose for the tone of the game, plus some people interpreted it as making fun of people who like shooters, which was not our intention. It would have been funny, though. That would have been cool. I like it. Alright. Narrator emails. After the second trailer was sent out, we asked people to email the narrator for questions. While we had intentionally planned to use those in further promotional materials, we never found the perfect use for them. Here are a selection of those emails. There's a skeleton inside of you. There are more skeletons in this world than humans. Thanks. Goodbye, Civ. How's the games going? I hope it's good or better than the first one. Asking there, well, the thing I want to know is, what would you do if Stanley entered any other rooms? That's like, I don't even know if I've gotten all the endings. I don't even think I have. There's just too much. There's too much game here. Too much game, I say. Dun, 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 dun. Very, very cool. Very, very cool. A countdown room. Monitor room, elevator. I think this is the one. Is this the one that I haven't seen yet? The Zending? I don't think I've seen that one yet. Oh, cut and merge to another part of the game, so maybe I have seen it. I don't know. Maintenance layout. The flow of hallways following the first two doors was important to get right, since players will replay them so many times. We discussed a number of designs, but ultimately it would be the simplest version that won out. Cool shit. Cool shit. And, I mean, I'm sure I'm not saying anything that other people haven't said 1,000 times, but a game like this proves that video games are just another media or medium to create interesting shit, man.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see?
And if I remember,
can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. The
That's right. I don't know if that was intended, but
This is the story of a man named
wow.
Stanley.
Go to the menu. There's got to be something for skipping the cutscene, right? Like some things got to happen. Aha!
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
For people who
Stanley decided
don't have
to
the
go
time.
to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief,
I can't believe I can't even go into the
Stanley
broom
decided to go
closet
up
anymore.
to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
New one of these. New message on the bathroom. To be written. Nah, it's an older one. Okay. Damn it.
Here's the door, just go.
Doesn't even give me the thing anymore. It's like, okay. It's literally the same thing. I don't know what I can even do now. Guessing nothing. I'm guessing there's nothing I can do. I've just exhausted all the possibilities.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room.
Is there a way to
packed
kill
with
yourself in here?
television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought.
Yeah, the
to
disadvantage of
himself.
having such a
Did he
variety
have
of
the strength
rich variety.
to
It's
find
difficult
out?
to know where to look for the less obvious ones. I'm gonna have to like look it up. Not because I'm a super completionist, but I just want
Now
to
the
see the
monitors
weird
jumped to
shit that
life.
happens in
Their
this
true
game. Because
nature
there's
revealed.
clearly so much more.
Each bore the number of an employee in the building. Stanley's
Uh-huh.
co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen. And Stanley.
The input thing really kind of bothers me because I feel like there has to be a way to get the input all the way up, and then that means something.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe it could.
I'll figure I'll do this run, take another quick break just to get my laundry, and while I do that, maybe look up if there's something more obvious or something quick that I can do before ending the stream.
He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
I also could do the baby game for 4 hours.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation.
4 hours.
Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over?
Was it?
Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved.
That's the other thing, like once you get these things, it's hard to
freed from the machine's
skipped through it.
grasp. What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking. But
Yeah, thanks for watching,
perhaps
Felix.
his
I appreciate
goal
it.
had not been to
Yeah, I think I
understand,
might end it
but
pretty
to
soon
live.
if I can't figure out anything else
No
to
longer
do.
would anyone tell him where to go, what to
Maybe
do,
I'll just end it at 12.
or how to feel. Whatever life he lives,
It feels
it
dumb
will
to
be
come back if
yours.
there's really nothing to
And that was all
come back
he
to.
needed to know.
But,
It was perhaps the only
thanks again anyway.
thing
Thank you very much. I
worthwhile.
appreciate it.
Stanley stepped through the open door.
And
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
cut to white. Alrighty, let's the end is never the end is never the end. See, then it cuts. Let me just try to
All
find
his
that one
coworkers
computer,
were
and then
gone.
after that I'm going to
What
call
could
it
it
quits,
mean?
because there's got to be an
Stanley
input.
decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and
Maybe
Stanley knew it
it's the
perfectly
computer
well.
in the ending
Perhaps he wanted to stop
they
by
trick
the
you with the
employee
woman.
lounge first, just to admire it.
I doubt it, but
And here it was, the lounge. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
nope, not going for you.
Stanley was so bad at following
thought I could hit
directions,
that
it's incredible
opening.
he wasn't fired years ago.
Wow.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting. That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Let it ring. What if I just let that baby ring? From now until the end of time.
Oh,
My
Stanley,
apartment
is that
number is
you?
the same as my
Hold on, sweetie.
office
Sorry
number?
to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Such a dick move.
Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
Is there a computer in here? Fuck.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley. Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a
Damn
job
it.
that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes
Yeah.
is a reminder of the inconsequential
this is
nature
going anywhere.
of his existence. Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do.
Oh, that's
Now
a bed.
he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life. But in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful, and each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him. And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
Please bring a computer and tell me that that is where I can input the thing.
So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold. As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable. It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time. But there is no answer. How could there possibly be?
Damn it.
In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one. And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Wait, this is new. Not gonna do it, Doug. Not gonna do it. Press. Press every other button besides K. Just see what happens. Clock is on in the background. That's cool. Damn it, it's not going to do anything until I click it, huh?
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself? I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
That's cool stuff. It's cool stuff. But, time to join the real world again. So, thanks for everybody who showed up. I appreciate it. Felix, Shadow, Do, Hetrick, Oops, and anybody else who may have been watching but wasn't in the chat. I appreciate it anyway. Thank you very much for hanging out. Hope to catch you tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific time. We're watching The Fast and the Furious, but not The Fast and the Furious you're thinking of. Not even Fast and Furious. The Fast and the Furious from the 50s. That's a public domain film. I hope to catch you guys then. And maybe on a different one next Sunday, or maybe Wednesday night or Friday night. Who knows? Have a good one. Wear a mask if you're unvaccinated or vaccinated. Let's just wear masks and try and keep each other alive for 20 goddamn minutes, huh? With that said, have a good one. Thanks for coming to Church Has Glasses. Peace!